I just want to welcome everybody tonight. I'm so glad you could tune in. I'm going to talk a little bit about mindfulness and the practice. I'll be guiding us in tonight. Then we'll do the practice together. And then we'll check in a little bit at the end about how the practice was for you. So, everybody knows mindfulness these days, it's pretty mainstream. And one way of looking at mindfulness is it's like there's two wings of a bird, and one wing is awareness, paying attention to the present moment on purpose. And the other wing is the wing of kindness or compassion. So it's said that we can pay attention, but it's not fully mindfulness without that ingredient of compassion. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight. I want to say a little bit about how the mind works. Probably obvious things that you already know are now being documented in the field of neuroscience. So, one of the things we know about the brain is that it usually focuses on the negative. Maybe you've noticed this, right? You have a whole day of events, and at night you're falling asleep, and what are you focusing on? Maybe the thing you did wrong or the thing that you're worried about. And although this is our brain's way of trying to help us, protect us, it's wired into us for survival, it also creates unnecessary stress and tension. So just knowing that the mind leans into the negative as a way of protecting us can help us, oh, see, there's my mind going in the negative direction. The other thing we know about the brain is that what we do with our attention matters. Whatever we focus on, those neural networks in the brain grow stronger. So if we're focused on generosity and kindness, those great grooves get deeper and deeper in the brain. If we focus on worry and judging ourselves, those habits of the brain get stronger. So what we focus on grows stronger. Okay, so the first one is the brain leans to the negative, that what we do with our attention matters. And the third one is that the mind's inclination is to wander. It's to wander all over the place. Maybe you've noticed this too. When you sit down to meditate, if you tried mindfulness before, it's just the natural tendency of the mind. We don't have to judge ourselves for that. In fact, they have documented this in some research, and there's two artifacts of that wandering mind research that I just want to touch on. So they did an experiment where they had people with their iPhones or smartphones, and they pinged them. They asked them, what are you doing? Are you paying attention to what you're doing? And they had them rate their moods. And then, so I just want to ask you to maybe think a moment. Do we have the chat box enabled? Can you enable the chat box? Yeah. So if you care to, we'll just make a little guess. If you had to guess, what % of the time are our minds not focused, distracted by something else, carried away, lost in the past or the future? If you want to make a guess, you could either unmute yourself and say it out loud, or you could go ahead and put it in the chat box. Great, people are populating the chat. 75, 80, 60, 80, 85%, 90%. Right. So it feels like that. It feels like almost all the time the mind is just wandering and lost. Well, what the researchers found was 47% of the time, almost half the time, we're checked out. And when we're checked out, we're more likely to go to those automatic habit patterns of the negativity bias and of habits of worrying and things like judging. So these 3 points about how the mind works, they kind of motivate me to say, I really need to give my brain some exercise. I really need to train it a little bit to see when it wanders, to notice the negativity bias, and to begin to incline towards healthy compassionate, kind state of mind, because that's not where it goes naturally. Maybe you've noticed this. So the practice we're going to do tonight is has been studied by a researcher named Kristen Neff, and it's called the self-compassion break. And true confession, I am from New Jersey. When I first heard this, I was like, you got to be kidding. It was like a little too woo-woo for me. But I try and go in with an open mind. And when I tried practicing, it was very helpful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and teach it to you in the same way that it was taught to me, and see if you can just come in with an open mind and see how it feels. And if it feels a little woo-woo, that's okay too. All right? Okay, so first is just bring yourself to sit in a comfortable position. You could also be lying down. You could even be standing. But this is the first piece of a compassionate practice, is to bring yourself to a posture that supports a sense of ease, a sense of comfort, but also a sense of being awake and alert. And you can choose to have your eyes open. You could choose to have your eyes closed. If your eyes are open, just taking a soft downward gaze to minimize any distractions. So simply feeling your body sitting. Sitting and knowing that you're sitting. Feeling the contact points where your body makes contact with the floor, the chair, perhaps the bed. Bringing the focus of your attention, if you're sitting, to the soles of your feet. Maybe even moving your toes a little bit to call your attention, feeling your feet. So just taking a couple breaths, feeling into the soles of the feet. And then letting go of the feet and coming back to the back of the legs. Do you notice sensations of hardness or softness? Just letting go of anything that you don't need to be holding on to, and feeling into your body, your sitting body. I'm moving the spotlight now to the back body, where does your body make contact with the chair, the bed, the floor? Where do you feel sensations of pressure? So feeling the lower half of the body, the stable base, the spine lifting out of the stable base. And then bringing the spotlight of attention to your hands. Feeling the shape and the position of the hands. Maybe the weight of the hands. So really feeling the hands from the inside out. The temperature. And there might be sounds in your environment or other sensations that are calling your attention. See if you can let that all be in the background while most of your attention soaks into your hands like water soaks into a dry sponge. Knowing what the hands know. From time to time, you'll notice that your mind has wandered. How long will this meditation be? What am I going to do later on? It's okay. When you notice that your mind has wandered, you're already present, you're mindful, and you can choose to bring your attention back to the present moment. So, just bringing to mind something that might be bothering you, you might be struggling with. You don't have to go to your biggest problem, but maybe there's something you're worried about, or some aspect of being uncomfortable right now, maybe even having some pain, migraine. And most of us don't have to go too far to find something that's uncomfortable or unwanted. But just with a recognition of that, and a moment, we'll take a moment now to validate. And I'll give you some words that might help you to validate your experience. And you're free to choose your own words. So it might be, "Mm, oh, this hurts." So, as best you can, meeting your experience with a feeling and thought of validation. Oh, ouch. I don't want this. I'm sorry this is happening. So, as if a dear friend told you their sorrows, you would say, I'm sorry this is happening. This is painful. This is uncomfortable. So, just validating it for yourself, if for no other reason that it's your truth. And then, after validating, just opening up and recognizing, I'm not the only one that feels this way. So maybe even just placing your hands, your palms on the tops of your legs. You might put one hand on your heart, or even cross your arms, like you're folded your arms, like a self hug. We know from research that physical contact helps with emotion regulation. So, this second step, we're saying, I'm not alone. Other people feel this way. So, whatever it is that you've been feeling, maybe you've been frustrated or sad, maybe you've been headachy, but just remembering, I'm not alone. Other people feel this way too. And feeling the weight of your hands, the warmth of your hands. So we validated, oh, this is hard. And now we're just reflecting, I'm not alone. And the last piece of this 3-step self compassion break is offering yourself some words of encouragement. What are the words you most need to hear? Just reflecting for a moment. What do you long to hear? So I'll give some suggestions, but see if you can find something that comes from inside of you. It might be, this is just how it is right now. It might be, I'm doing the best I can. It might be, may I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment? May I meet this experience with a sense of ease and compassion? So, something comforting, maybe something that you would want to hear from a friend or a loved one, something that's supportive. I can do this one moment at a time. May I be kind to myself. So, finding the words that fit for you. May I feel peace even in the midst of this challenge. And if you're having a hard time finding the right words, just maybe imagining or remembering what a dear friend might have said to you. Just giving yourself some time, remembering that we're planting some seeds of self compassion. May I be strong. Maybe may I give myself a break. I'm okay. So we move through the steps of recognizing our own suffering and validating. And then to the second step, that we're not alone, other people feel the same way. And in this third step, we're offering,
Yeah.
we're offering ourselves just a sense of kindness, a warm friendliness, knowing that what we do with our attention matters. So, in these next few moments of the meditation, just inviting maybe even a half smile on your face and an inner softening. Cultivating a feeling of kindness and ease. Just knowing too that you can use the weight of your hands, the warmth of your hands, to feel a sense of support. How does it feel to offer a sense of warmth and friendliness to yourself? I'm okay. I'm doing the best I can. This is just how it is right now. And if you're feeling resistance, maybe you're judging yourself or the practice, just noticing that. Oh, this is judgment. This is the judging mind. And now broadening your awareness, just in knowing that right now you're not alone. There's 30 some odd people on the call tonight. Maybe just a moment of recognition that they're that you're not alone, you're with them, and that they have struggles too. So if it feels right to you, maybe say sending out a wish. May the other people in our group tonight, may they have a moment of ease. May others in our circle, may they know peace. Sending out a warm wish for health or happiness, just a sense of ease. Maybe there's people that you know or familiar to you. You can even look at the screen and see a name or a face. And just send out a wish for health, happiness, ease. So we're inclining the mind towards a kind of a quality or attitude of compassion, of friendliness, letting go of that comparing, judging activity, quality of the mind. Softening in the mind, softening in the body. So in a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell signaling the end of this practice. And just checking in, what's here now for you? What are you noticing now in your body? Even if maybe you didn't listen to a word I said, or if you tuned in and followed the whole thing, that's okay too. But what's there now, having taken this time for yourself? And if you notice even a little bit of ease or a little bit of softening, just noticing that, bringing it into focus. To challenge that negativity bias, we need to learn to see, oh, what's pleasant? Where is there ease? And then even maybe taking a moment to thank yourself for giving yourself this time and taking this time for your own health and well-being. Opening to the sounds of the bells now. So this is the end of the self-compassion practice. We have a couple minutes. If you have a comment or a question, I would invite that. And just also to let you know, if you wanted to learn more about that, or even there's a recording of this meditation um, on Kristen Neff's website. Uh, and it really is about training the mind in this particular way, inclining the mind because of the habits of the mind, which I described earlier, often take us in the opposite direction. So I see some comments and thank yous in the chat box.